Adequate notice of this meeting was provided and published in the Asbury Park Press and the Ocean Star on January 17, 2025. Copies of the agenda were provided to the newspaper and posted on public bulletin boards and the Township website.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Albanese. Councilwoman Pontoriero.
Here.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Here.
Councilman Feinman.
Here.
Councilwoman Travers.
Here.
Vice President Menachino.
Here.
President Ambrosino.
Here.
Thank you.
I'm going to ask everyone to rise for a salute to the flag, Pledge of Allegiance, and a moment of silence.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Is there a motion and a second to approve the minutes from the January 28th meeting?
Motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Pontoriero.
Abstain.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Feinman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Travers.
Yes.
Vice President Menachino.
Yes.
President Ambrosino.
Yes.
Thank you.
We can move on to the consent agenda.
All matters listed under item consent agenda will be enacted by one motion in the form listed below. If discussion is desired on any item, this item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately.
Item 4.1.
Authorize sale and issuance of bond anticipation notes.
Councilwoman Travers.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes the sale of bond anticipation notes in an amount not to exceed $31,744,700. As projects are approved, the townships typically start out by securing bond anticipation notes, known as bands, which is a temporary form of financing. Once the project scope or equipment specifications is better defined, we roll those bands into bonds. We use temporary financing at the outset to give us a chance to better define costs as opposed to long temporary financing at Did I just say, I apologize, I just read the same sentence. As opposed to long-term financing on estimates. Notes, short-term financing, may be rolled into bonds, permanent financing, after the third anniversary date, which is the typical practice of the township. We do this in accordance with recommendations from our bond counsel, financial consultant, and our chief financial officer. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 4.2.
Authorize rebid purchase and delivery of various doors.
Councilman Feinman.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes the rebid for the purchase and delivery of various doors. This bid is for doors used throughout the township for in-house construction projects. These materials will be required for various projects during the year. Bid notices were provided to 6 prospective bidders from our bidders list, and 5 requested the bid package. 1 bid was received, however, it was deemed non-responsive based on an error and rejected. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 4.3.
Authorize rebid preservation architectural services.
Councilwoman Pontoriero.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes the rebid of proposals of preservation architectural services. I apologize. The bid was previously issued, and at the time, bid notices were provided to 53 prospective bidders from our list, and 14 vendors then requested our bid package. Unfortunately, no bids were received, so we're going to try again, resubmit, in the hopes that one of the 14 vendors who picked up the package will actually submit one. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 4.4.
Authorize closeout change order number 2, roadway resurfacing and water main replacement contract for Laurel Manor.
Council Vice President Menachino.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes the approval of closeout change order number 2 for roadway resurfacing and water main replacement contracts for the Laurel Manor. This change order decreases the contract with Narcon Construction in the amount of $625 as a result of a final as-built quantities. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 4.5.
Authorize shared services agreement with County of Ocean for police services, Ocean County Narcotics Strike Force.
Thanks. This resolution authorizes the execution of a shared services agreement with the Ocean County Prosecutor's Office for the Ocean County Narcotics Strike Force. The purpose of the strike force is to enforce firearm and anti-drug laws of the state of New Jersey. The township receives a stipend per officer assigned to the task force who participates for 12 consecutive months. Moving on to item 4.6.
Authorize agreement with Community Services, Inc. for Ocean County for Congregate Nutrition Program.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes an agreement with Community Services, Inc. of Ocean County to prepare hot meals and deliver to the Congregate Nutrition Program, also the Community Cafe, for our participants at the Brick Senior Centers Mondays and Fridays, and at the Brick Housing Authority on Thursdays. This agreement is for 1 year. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 4.7.
4.7A is a performance bond release for Block 211.02, lots 20 and 22, and B is a performance bond release for Block 902, Lot 2.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Item 4.8.
Thank you. 4.8A, 100% DAV widow of veteran deduction at Block 1210.03, Lot 203. 8B is a senior citizen deduction at Block 755, Lot 37. And 8C is a veteran deduction at Block 380.11, Lot 8. Block 446.16, Lot 6. Block 1192.23, Lot 14. And Block 1385.10, Lot 20.
Thank you. That's the end of the consent agenda. I will now ask for a motion and a second on the consent agenda.
Motion.
Second.
Open to council for questions? Seeing none, open to the public for questions on these resolutions only. Seeing none, close public. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Pontoriero.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Abstain 4-6, yes to the rest.
Councilman Feinman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Travers.
Yes.
Vice President Menachino.
Yes.
President Ambrosino.
Yes.
Thank you.
Moving on to item 4.9, bill resolution.
Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brick that the following bills be paid and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to draw orders on the treasurer for the amounts of the same. Computer bill resolution in the amount of $17,141,617.30.
Is there a motion and second on the computer bill resolution?
Motion.
Second.
Open to council for questions? Seeing none, open to the public for questions on the computer bill resolution only. Seeing none, close public. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Pontoriero.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Feinman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Travers.
Yes.
Vice President Menachino.
Yes.
President Ambrosino.
Yes.
Thank you.
Item 4.10.
Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brick that the following bills be paid and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to draw orders on the treasurer for the amounts of the same. Manual bill resolution in the amount of $2,059,267.03.
Motion and a second on the manual bill resolution?
Motion.
Thank you. Open to council for questions? Seeing none, open to the public for questions on the manual bill resolution. Seeing none, close public. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Pontoriero.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Feinman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Travers.
Yes.
Vice President Menachino.
Yes.
President Ambrosino.
Yes.
Thank you.
Moving on to agenda item 5.1.
An ordinance of the Township of Brick, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, authorizing the acceptance of the donation of property known as Block 1225, lots 565, 567, 571, and 577, and Block 1386, Lot 1.
Mayor Crate.
Thank you. This ordinance authorizes the acceptance of donated property at the corner of Herbertsville Road and Maple Avenue. This property has been identified by the Brick Open Space Savers Committee as an appropriate addition to the township's recreation and open space inventory. It should be noted that the township is specifically not accepting the adjoining property owned by the same owner, as it has a single-family home on that lot. But we're very happy to accept this property for our open space. Thank you.
Thank you. Motion and a second on this ordinance.
Motion.
Second.
Open to council for questions? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Pontoriero.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Feinman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Travers.
Yes.
Vice President Menachino.
Yes.
President Ambrosino.
Yes.
Thank you.
Item 6.1.
An ordinance of the Township of Brick, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 166 to establish fees for the use of municipal electric vehicle charging stations.
Councilwoman Dion.
Thank you. Electric vehicle charging stations have been installed at Windward Beach Park and Drum Point Sports Complex. The ordinance provides for the establishment of fees to use the charging stations. Rates are set at a range of 17 cents to 38 cents per kilowatt hour. Rates established by the township shall be in addition to any applicable state or federal EV surcharge. The Township Sustainable Brick Committee has worked with ChargePoint, the vendor for the charging stations, and reviewed neighboring municipalities and the fees they assess for their charging stations.
Motion and a second.
Motion.
Second.
Thank you. Open to council for questions on this ordinance. Seeing none, open to public for questions and comments on this ordinance. Seeing none, close public. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Pontoriero.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Feynman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Travers.
Yes.
Vice President Menachino.
Yes.
President Ambrosino.
Yes.
Thank you.
Can you move on to item 7, public comments?
Please note that each person addressing the council during any section of the meeting during which public comment is permitted shall limit his or her remarks to 5 minutes pursuant to Brick Township Administrative Code, Section 2-33B.
Thank you. Any comments from the public? Mr. Bacon.
My name is Charlie Bacon, 366 Rancocas Drive. Good evening, Mayor, Council, and Administration. The last meeting I spoke about the trailers. And Council President, you decided to ask one question. Was the trailer ordinance pulled from the December 10th agenda? And that was an affirmative. It was acknowledged it was. My follow-up question to that: when did the agenda get changed and the time the revised agenda was posted on the website? So that's one question. For 2 council meetings, I've asked multiple questions that have not been answered. Pulling the ordinance after many people in town were up in an uproar about this issue honestly is not germane to my questions. The fact that it was on the agenda is very germane. The fact you pulled it, and I think it's important to know when the timeline was, when it was pulled, because obviously all the people that were in this courtroom weren't aware of that. The other question I have tonight: since December, has there been an increase of code enforcement around trailers and/or commercial vehicles? Yes or no on that? Those are my questions on the trailers at this point. I'll gladly go through this with anybody before or after this meeting. I have a lot of details about some of the comments that were made in the press about what transpired after that meeting on December 10th. I also want to bring up about red lights and aggressive driving in this town. Multiple people have asked me about bringing this issue back in front of this governing official. I spoke about it in October at a council meeting and gave very specific details about some comments were made by 2 residents about the intersection of Post Road and 88. And I actually went through a whole litany of a day in the life of Charlie Bacon because I work in Toms River, and I talked about all the intersections I went through. Well, yesterday, kind of ironically, I'm heading south on Brick Boulevard, and it's a green light, so I'm heading south, and there's 2 people in the middle of the intersection trying to make turns. One going to the left to go south on Brick Boulevard, the other one to make a left to go the other way, heading towards 70. The light was already green. And luckily, I was the second one in line. But my concern there was the people behind me and were they going to stop at that intersection. This is a major problem. I talked about it. And actually, when I spoke about it in October, I gave some recommendations about what the township officials might want to look into about the traffic light problem. I didn't talk about aggressive driving, but tonight I am going to touch on that a little bit because that is also a problem. And I just want to refresh everyone about that intersection that I was at yesterday. 2 people died there in 2024. And the sequence of the light was changed and a modification was made to that. But this is an important issue. And other people are going to get injured or whatever, or God forbid, die. So just something there that we need to consider. I don't know what you did about the recommendations, what you're doing about this. I realize the complexity of this, sequencing of lights. We got county and state roads involved and everything else, but it's a very dangerous issue. I actually had a thing in here. It's good to see Mr. Starkey back. I haven't seen you in a couple of meetings, so nice to have you back. I also talked to Ms. Bergen prior to the meeting. I want to give a shout out to you and thank you, because about a year ago I came in front of this body and talked about Popeyes and about how that was held up because of the Wawa application and the ultimate approval of Wawa that allowed a left-hand turn in close proximity to the traffic light at Jack Martin. And I felt it wasn't fair at that time that Popeye's condition of doing a build on that property was conditional on some movement on that. And Ms. Bergen, I know you followed up with the Department of Transportation and a few other things, and thanks for sharing with me about the update, about the owner of that property, Mr. Morris, and hopefully now that left-hand turn can get moved down to the other entrance and solve that problem and allow Popeyes to build. So I want to thank you for that. I do appreciate the follow-up of that. And in closing, it is snowing. Just be careful. Have a good evening. Thank you.
Sorry. Thank you, Mr. Bacon. You know, I do want to respond to what you mentioned. You are correct. A proposed change to an existing ordinance was on the agenda for December 10th. It was pulled from the agenda at the start of the meeting. I want to clarify again, like I did last week, it was not read at the meeting, nor was it discussed by the mayor and council during that meeting, other than to announce that it was being pulled and would not be placed on any future agenda. I do know that you had mentioned you weren't at the meeting on the 10th. I do believe there was some explanation provided that I'm sure we've got on recording from that meeting about why it was on the agenda or the mistake that was made. But you also asked another question about an increase in code enforcement. Ms. Bergen, is there anything you could comment with regard to Mr. Bacon's questions?
Sure. So, yes, there have been more complaints into our system about storage trailers, particularly on commercial properties. I think a lot of people are having trouble maneuvering some intersections or seeing cars coming the other way. So, as always, with whatever the complaint is, when we get complaints, we send code enforcement out to take a look at it.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Bacon.
Council President?
Yes.
Can I just comment? I know you brought up some of the traffic issues as well. We do have our annual meeting with the county coming up. We get one meeting a year to talk about the traffic issues that we are having. So the issues that you brought up and other issues that we've been gathering throughout the year will be a topic of discussion when we meet in March.
Okay, thank you.
Any other public comments? Mr. Saluka.
John Sluka, 950 Sylvia Court. I'm just going to read my note that I sent a couple days ago. Dear Mayor Crate, February 9th, 2025. Council President Eric Ambrosino, all councilmen and councilwomen, as well as the residents, students, workers, news organizations of Brick and Ocean County. Again, this may be a rehash, but it needs to be always updated and kept in mind. In December, the New Jersey Turnpike Authority Executive Director wrote to Mayor Crate stating that a landscaping maintenance program has been initiated. The program is long overdue and still has so many unanswered questions. Although the New Jersey Turnpike Authority representative seemed to understand the problem, he did not say that they have begun to remove hazardous dead and unsightly trees caused by the natural process associated with old, dead trees and destroyed brush. And so that's no longer taking place. The pleas of the residents of Evergreen Woods Condom area, Brick High School, Primrose Gardens, Sutton Village, Lanes Mill, Greenbrier, Town Hall itself, Briar Mill, Birchwood, and other places in Brick and Ocean County have gone on for years. The New Jersey Turnpike Authority has not stated if these trees will be like a sound barrier, nor do they say if the trees will eliminate the noise and toxins flowing off the Garden State Parkway. The New Jersey Turnpike Authority has not said that they will plant bushes, etc., instead of the sound and safety walls. The New Jersey Turnpike Authority does not say they will state how they will eliminate the noise, the fumes, the toxic gases, and the tire pieces that fly off that Garden State Parkway into places like Evergreen Woods. Along with the people of Evergreen Woods, the people of Cherrywood, Brick High, Primrose Garden, Briar Mill, Sutton Village, Lanes Mill, Town Hall, Greenbrier, Birchwood, and other areas feel the impact every day. Mayor Creighton administrations needs to keep on top of the New Jersey Turnpike Authority, or they will find ways, more and more ways and excuses to do nothing. So they should have started something 12 years ago. And so again, it's 12 years later, and they're just starting to do something they should have done 12 years ago. Thank you for your time. I yield back 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Thank you, Mr. Saluka. Any other public comments?
Mark Vasquez for 40 Lana Court. I have to second. It'd be great to have a wall, but I know that we've tried to do that. But just wanted to know if, since it seems like the case, and I don't know if the investigation is still going on with the former recreation director, I would love to know how much was stolen from the township in total, and then what procedures are being taken to prevent something like that ever happening again. And then that's really it for today, so thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vasquez. I do think that we can make some comment on that. Ms. Bergen?
Sure. The total amount was $9,260. Full restitution has been paid to the Township of Brick. We do now have a more detailed checks and balances system in place, as you all know. Our policy has changed so that we do not accept cash transactions over $250. When field permits are applied for and granted, the field is booked on a software program, Community Pass, that is visible to both recreation and park staff. No permits can be issued outside of the Community Pass software program. Permits are numbered, and therefore the payments for those permits are cross-checked here in finance when the payments come in. That is a process that our auditor recommends that we do, and we have since changed that policy. Permits are printed in both offices from Community Pass, Recreation and Finance, and as well as the Parks Department, and they're on display for all staff and for park security to see. Field rentals are handled by all recreation staff instead of just one person. They all use the same system instead of one person being responsible for the sports fields. So those are some of the changes that we made, and I believe that answers the question.
Thank you. Any other comments from the public?
Mike Calderese, 331 Stinson Road. So I was at that December 10th meeting. I just want to clarify a couple of things. I think what was cited about that ordinance is there was a lawyer issue and misinformation on social media. So do we know what lawyer issue or what problem we had as far as getting that like lawyered up, and what social media misinformation was going around about it?
Is that something you'd care to comment on, Mr. Starkey?
Oh, yeah, I explained it that at that meeting that night. That was an error by my law offices. We put on a really broader scope of ordinance that then was warranted, and when that came to the attention of the mayor and council, they withdrew it.
Okay, you guys did talk about it, because I know when I stood up and asked, are you going to talk about it at all again tonight, the answer was a definitive no, but, okay.
Well, we addressed it,
Okay.
I think, at length that night, so.
All right, awesome, thank you.
Any other comments from the public? Seeing none, close public. Mrs. Bergen.
Oh, I'm sorry, I have nothing, thank you.
Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Just a couple of things on my page here, sorry. I just wanted to congratulate and welcome a couple of new businesses that we have in town. Victor's Salon and Studio opened up recently on 55 Brick Boulevard. They're a salon suite, not a salon suite, but it's a salon barber shop. It was very nice. It was in the old, I can never remember, the old haircut place that I can't remember the name of. What was that place called? I don't remember now. But anyway, it's right next to where the Dots used to be, and it's really nice inside. It's like super classy. So if you're looking for a barber on that side of town, it's in the Stop and Shop Plaza. Check it out. We also went to Quilting by the Shore, which is pretty cool. That's located at 426 Herbertsville Road. And it's this cute little shop where if you know how to quilt or you don't know how to quilt, you are welcome to go there. She does these sessions. They're a couple of hours. If you're a beginner and you've never quilted before, she's got a class that runs for 8 weeks, 4 hours a week for $85. It was like kind of a bargain. She has all the materials there. You can bring your own materials in. If you like to quilt with your friends, you can use the space up to 4 hours at a time for $10 an hour, which is a pretty good deal. And it's got all brand new sewing machines and all of the materials you could possibly use. So it is pretty cool, just something different. So if you're into that or you'd like to learn about quilting, check out Quilting by the Shore on Herbertsville Road. Council President Ambrosino and Councilwoman DeYoung and I had the opportunity to go to the DARE graduation at Osborneville on the 4th last week. It was a great time, so congratulations to all those students. We have our brick birthday party coming up on February 22nd from 3 to 5 in Civic Plaza, and we have a ton of great games and organizations that are coming out to share things about Brick Township, especially since it is our 175th birthday. So please come out, join us on that day. It's going to be a lot of fun. Cake, of course, will be there. Decorate your own cupcake, make your own slime, face painting. We'll have music, and the police officers and EMS and Historical Society will be out there. I may be dressed in current, or not current, in period garb, yes. I did agree that I would, participate with the Historical Society, so I am looking forward to that. And also, the Historical Society, someone from the Historical Society will be at the Brick Township Library tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Jean Donatello will be presenting 175 years of Brick Township and going over some of the historical events. I'm looking forward to attending that, and if you'd like to come out and join me, I'd love to see you. And get your nominations in for our Brick Hero Awards. If you know someone around town who is doing something great that really has helped our township out or helped your neighborhood or help your friends, please nominate that person for the Brick Hero Awards. Those are taking place at Brick Memorial High School on Friday, March 14th at 7 p.m. And if you go on our website, you can fill out the form there to nominate someone here in Brick Township. And finally, our Pickup Brick calendar will be out very soon, and we have modernized a bit. So along with the calendar, we'll also have a notice with a QR code. If you or your organization would like to sign up for any of the Pickup Bricks, you can do that by scanning the QR code or clicking the link on our website. You can go directly to that form and fill out your name, your organization, the date or dates that you would like to assist, and about how many people will be coming. All are welcome. We supply all of the bags and gloves and buckets and things like that in order to make the day a success. And we have about 11 scheduled this year, and I'm really looking forward to getting out there with the community to keep our green acres that we have worked so hard to preserve clean. So thank you so much.
Thank you. You forgot to mention the best part of the Osborneville DARE graduation. The Osborneville students brought back the DARE song.
They did.
Yeah, and that is a banger.
It was pretty phenomenal, actually.
Mr. Starkey. Thank you. Madam Clerk.
I have nothing, thank you.
Madam Secretary.
No, thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Pontevedra.
Thank you. I just want to wish everyone a blessed and happy Valentine's Day. And also, with the inclement weather that we have going on now and apparently over the weekend, please keep in mind if you have an elderly neighbor, it doesn't take much to just go over and see if they need some help and that their heat's working. We all have to help each other in our community. Thank you so much.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
I have nothing this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Feynman.
Thank you, Council President. My son is in the 5th grade DARE program, so I'm very familiar with that song. He has. It's straight from the late 80s.
What school?
VMES.
Ah.
Yeah. So along that line, I want to recognize the DARE program. And for those who are not familiar, it's the Drug Abuse Resistance Education. So the Brick Police Department, especially those officers who work with the 5th grade DARE graduates, they really do a great job teaching children how to resist peer pressure and live productive drug and violence-free lives. So I just want to say congratulations to all the 5th graders who made the DARE pledge, and thank you again to those BRIC officers and families for all their support. You can learn more at dare.org, and stay safe and have fun. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Travers.
I just wanted to take a second and recognize that it is American Heart Month with being Valentine's this Friday. And the healthcare provider in me always likes to encourage anybody out there to become CPR certified. It's definitely one of those skills that it's invaluable and you never want to have to use, but being able to use it when you need to, you can save someone's life. So if you want to look up on cpr.heart.org, you can find out more information. They can teach you about CPR. Some of these classes will do choking, and they've actually now started giving like Narcan if you needed to for opioid overdose. So again, happy Valentine's Day, and stay safe driving home. Thanks.
Council Vice President Menachino.
I have nothing tonight, thank you.
Thank you. I will simply announce, though I'm sure every parent of a school-aged children has gotten multiple calls already this evening, that the BRIC school system will be on a 2-hour delay tomorrow. So I'm sure there's quite a few happy children out there. And with that, the next scheduled caucus meeting will be on Tuesday, February 25th at 2025 at 7 p.m. I will now entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Meeting adjourned.